Hey, you ready? Hey, grab that right there. Are you ready? Oh. Is you ready? Ready. You say you ready. Oh. Whole squad ready. Ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready? Whole squad ready. We came here to see Jet. What you got? Oh. No, not on my watch. No way. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. Hey. You can bring what you got. I'm going to the top. Woo. Bring what you got. Bring what you got. I'm going to the top. I'm going to the top.
Hey, you ready? You know what time it is, right? They don't want us to make it, so it's time to take it. Rhyme with them killers, it's time to see who be realer. Unload it, empty the clip on them, make sure these people feel it. I'm shooting like Reggie Miller. Don't move or I'ma hit you. Half a pound, toe to toe, yeah, I call it Thriller Manila. Scope on the beat, no motion picture, hit you from distance. We came out the trenches with the stitches, God is my witness. And I gotta get that first shot out before that bullet hit me. Ain't gotta worry about looking back with my squad with me.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready. You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready? Whole squad ready.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round number 7. We find ourselves tonight in Bahrain, the first here to do so. We're here on track. We are under the lights here in the Middle East on the Arabian Peninsula. It's always a fun track. Bahrain, some speed, mixture of corners, mixture, a little bit of everything. Testing been done here multiple times in the past, especially during the COVID era. Once again, it is time to get Tier 3 up and going. 19 in the lobby tonight. I think Miguel on his way. He crashed out of the lobby earlier. Hope to get him back in here shortly. Meanwhile, it's going to be, looks like the Sauber first on track. Weren't with us last week. It was Monaco. We took place this Tier 3 in the Principality. Edge posting back-to-back victories, and he'll look to do so yet again tonight for McLaren. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie atop of the Drivers' Championship. Both Capix and 7 tied on 94 points. And Edge, who has missed 2 races this season, courtesy of those 2 wins, only finds himself 10 points back of the Mercedes and the Ferrari up front. 2 drivers posting 2 podiums in their last races, but not to worry. It's the wins that count for Edge. 3 in a row on the cards. The hat trick for him on the season, potentially here tonight in Bahrain. Go ahead and turn my volume up because it is very low. There we go. That is a lot better in my ears. Go ahead and see Trap reflect here in the Sauber. About to start our first flying lap of the night of this 18-minute qualifying session. He's not going to have any traffic in his way, as you'll see him scraping the ground here on this long main straight as you go into the heavy braking zone. That is a tough couple of corners here to get the traction down just so nicely. Keeps it nice and tight on the exit of turn 3 there as he heads down the second of the 3 DRS straights, sweeping into this turn 4. The bump is removed, ladies and gentlemen. If you run wide out there now, you will not be sent into low Earth orbit. As we head into the downhill S section, doesn't use that curb on the outside, uses the curb right there as he heads into was a very, very tough corner, but now probably the toughest corner on this track. The downhill braking so easily to lock the left front, but he absolutely nails it. And now on to the final of the 3 DRS straights. Don't have to brake too much here. That rear wing closes as it's closed its time. In the real F1 as well, we said goodbye to DRS in Abu Dhabi on Sunday. What a race it was. No need for the drag reduction system anymore. Another long straight, another heavy braking zone. So important to get the traction right. He does so on that red-walled soft tire. And the first time of the night for Trap Reflect is going to be a 130.199. We'll come to 30.2. It's going to be one of the Hasses. I believe it's Mo that's going to set the next time, and he's going to absolutely set the pace in front of that as Zonad will take the torch from him as well. A 28.2 to start things off as looks like one of the Ferraris is about to head out next. It's Fernie who goes ahead and sets that fastest purple sector. Remember, last week it was a full qualifying session for the drivers, but this time just the singular 18 minutes. Our championship leader at the moment, Capex, 3/10 behind his teammate, a 128.5 for him here early in the session. NASCAR Freak putting up a respectable time there as the time starting to come in thick and fast. The two Racing Bulls sitting astern in 6th and 7th as they are pushed down. Panda with a big time, a 128.2 as the Aston Martin sits on provisional pole here with still a few laps to be put in. We'll go ahead and stick on board with Fernie. He was on an absolute stormer of a first sector. We didn't see what his middle sector time was, but we'll go ahead and see what his lap time is as he comes out of the final corner. Can the Ferrari in a heated championship battle, and he get right up there, only good for 10th, the 29.3. Some ways off of the pole time set by Mark and the Williams as of now. Here come the McLarens. Edge is on a lap as well. Maybe not so much as he's maybe, yeah, he might have been trying to get a little bit of a slipstream off of the Red Bull as he was coming down the main straight. Regardless, he is in position to try to capture yet another pole position. Again, it was full qualifying last week. It was this man you see on your screen here. It was first in all 3 qualifying sessions. He carried that into the race. He sets the fastest first sector. Masterfully done through the downhill right-hand corner. Might have a little bit of traffic in his way. He's got a Haas and a Ferrari to deal with. Can he navigate these two cars? Will he get a little bit of a slipstream from these two? The Haas doing a nice work to get out of the way there. The Ferrari up the hill should not cause too much of an issue, you would think. And I believe that's Fernie or 7. Well, get out of his way and not really want to help the oncoming championship contender as a purple middle sector there for Edge. As he arrives quickly upon the final corner of this Bahrain circuit. What can the man in the best form on track put in as a banker lap? DRS open. It's only good enough for 4th place, so one of the first times that we've not seen Edge atop of the driving tables. Go ahead, Toasty has begun his lap. Miggy is about to start his lap. We'll go ahead and look on board with, let's see, Max is just coming through the first sector now. We've got Dex in the Red Bull out of the final corner. What can the Red Bull do? Only good enough. The 14th just cracking into the 129s. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the Haas, the league owner. Navigates that rather tricky corner. It's very, very easy to put the power down a little too soon. Do that, you're going to be looking the wrong direction a lot faster than you think you will. Teammate there heats up those tires. DRS flap is open. As navigating the uphill section, using that outside curve very, very well. As the only team this season yet to score a point, we're looking for American-based team to finally show up on our scorecards. Could tonight be that night? Max will certainly want to give that impression. What will it be for him? It's only good for 13th, a 129.8. The 130s will probably start to escape us as this Toasty punches in a 129.6, and we have to think that Miggy is going to throw in a time until 29.7, and lots of cars out on track as well, led by, looks like, would be the Mercedes, as I was just there. Led by Zonad as he's on yet another outlap. His teammate behind him, the Mercedes potentially working together here. The championship is just as close as the drivers. It's a 47-point gap from these two Mercedes to the Ferraris on top. A big week for Ferrari last week to get another 13-point edge on the German outfit. See there, Zonad doing a great job to give Captain a nice little slipstream down the main straight, sacrificing his lap to get his teammate and championship leader maybe an extra 10th down that straight. We'll see what it ends up being. Can he improve on this first sector? I'll show you in the top right. He has by almost 0.6 of a second. Capex 12 here in the Mercedes has found, a little lock up there as he heads into the downhill right, the absolute middle of the middle sector. Oh, he's locked another, I believe that was one of the rears, as it's going from a great to maybe just a good lap here for Capex, but he needs to make up some time. Currently 0.4 off of provisional pole, with Mark and the Williams sitting atop. 128.1 is as soon as these caution flags go. I can go ahead and tell you exactly how much time is left, but a purple middle sector, 0.8 he is improved by so far. Can he find any more? With that works, Mercedes, one more corner, and a little bit of straight will tell us. Capex, your championship leader, 128.5, can improve and get to a 127.7. We have broken into the 127s, ladies and gentlemen. Who will take Capex off of his throne here in qualifying? Time will only tell. Will his teammate want to do a lap himself, or will he bring it? And he sacrificed his out lap, or rather his first lap, to go ahead and give that slip. I wonder if Mercedes will continue to work together. Lots of action on track. Many cars out on track. It was very processional last week in Monaco, but certainly not this week. Here in the wide open constraints of Bahrain, in a track where if you find yourself in a wall, you've done something extremely wrong, because walls are extremely hard to come by on this circuit. They are so far off, you're more likely to find yourself in the gravel than you are anywhere else. Now, Mark might need to be careful here, because Capex is going to give his teammate a tow, but I don't think the Williams has got the idea, and Zonad might be in a spot of bother here. Williams going to get out of his way. Oh, we might have an incident here, folks. That's going to be a potential cause for concern. Zonad will not be happy that Mark's invalidated his lap, and he made no real attempt to get out of his lanes. I think Zonad's backed out of that lap. The two Mercedes in formation will likely head to the pit lane with under 6 minutes to go. Put some new fuel in that car. Need soft tires, which we probably will not see too much of here tonight with the surface the way it is. Bahrain, very known for kind of chewing through the tires. It's very difficult to keep Pirelli tires alive around here with the changes that they made to them for the 2025 season, making them degrade a bit quicker, increasing the hardness of the compound. Mark here, after invalidating his first one. Oh, Fernie is out. Fernie has found himself out of this one. We're going to try to see what happened here. All right, on board with Rob. Lost it on the wall. I have no idea how that's happened. I have absolutely no idea how Fernie has found himself in the wall at that section of the track. We'll go ahead, hop back on board with Mark, but that's oh, you could look back on this with Fernie out of qualifying, currently in 11th. as we get to the back end, the business end of this season. As the Constructors' Championship rumbles along, could that be problematic for Ferrari heading forward? Only time will tell. Mark had a fastest middle sector of the field so far, and with about 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go, he will retake that top spot by 0.003 of a second. Capex sat in that Mercedes garage currently saying, what more can I do to get this guy off pole? But currently, it's only second place for the championship leader as of now. We've got Edge and Dylan, both McLaren, still sat in the pit lane waiting for this timer to come down. I believe it's going to be, let's see, it's going to be Rob that is next across the line. We'll go ahead and stick on board here with the Sauber, who's done the fastest middle sector. Lots of quick middle sectors as this track seems to be ramping up here pretty quickly. Under 3.5 minutes to go. And that neon green Ferrari-powered car heads out of the final corner. And Rob, after posting that fastest middle sector, only fourth, can't quite break into the 127s as the top two have already done so far. We're going to get the NASCAR freak that is crossing the line next. No, he is just heading through the first few corners. Keep an eye on Panda here, who looks like he is warming up his next lap. The man sat in third, currently 0.3 off of pole position. Can he find a way to get on the top spot? Not this time around. Into the pit lane goes the Aston Martin. A Haas next across the line. A Haas in the points would be delightful for those with the Haas team. And Dylan now in the McLaren starting a lap. The other Haas of, where did he go? Of Mo starting his lap. So I think we're going to see a lot of quick tire changes. The Mercedes, you can see on the mini map in the bottom right, working in tandem once more. We'll keep an eye on this so far. It's going to be Zonod that gives the tow once more. And remember, Capex found almost a second on his the first lap that they were able to pull this off. Look like that's what they're going for so far. I think Zonod's actually just on a lap all on his own, but he has gone fastest in the first sector. Can he keep that momentum heading through the rest of the lap here in the final 2 minutes of this one? It's about to be an absolute flood of drivers out on the track. A little bit of a lockup there from the Mercedes, but he holds it well, uses that outside curve to his advantage, and keeps some of the tires on the track. You don't have to keep all four, you just have to keep at least two, and he does very nicely there to do just that as he heads back up the hill. Some of the other cars of the Aston Martin doing a nice job to get out of his way. You see some of this working well. That mini-map on the bottom right is going to be your key. The two Alpines looking like they're working with each other as well. Some teamwork potentially taking place throughout the grid. These teams trying to find a way. Alpine right in the thick of things for the constructors as well. I mean, a couple of good races for them as Rob has found a way out of this qualifying session. He is called it a day from 5th place. Oh, good Lord. Max is not going to enjoy that. It looks like somehow, some way, the Haas has collided on the track, and he's going to be raced with a 5-second time penalty. We'll stay on board with Capex here in the final seconds of qualifying. The Mercedes have done so well to work together in this qualifying, and they will continue to do so now. Heading into turn 4 is Capex. And down the hill he goes. A little bit of a snap in that Mercedes, throwing the car into the corner. And he needs to find 0.003 of a second to find himself on pole position. And he do just that as he heads through this downhill left. Time has expired, and we will head into the final stage of the qualifying 7. The man tied with Capex at the championship. Only start as good as 9th for now, but the ones below him will look to top his time of 1:28.4. Capex find himself at the top and potentially help reestablish that championship lead. Does just enough to purple that middle sector and keep the car on the track at 127.7. He needs to find 3 thousandths. He might get a little slipstream from the Haas as it's the final corner. Now, little lockup on the right front, but nice traction on the exit. Powers it to the line, pedal all the way down, and Capex finds the time he needs, a 127.6, but can Mark dethrone that time? He's still got plenty of lap to go. We'll see what his delta is as he comes through the end of the middle sector. He's got to head up the hill first, keep it together on this right-hand corner. Does extremely well to do just that, almost holds it together. And he's found about half a tenth. He's going to need just about that to find himself on pole position. Where can this Williams, who's the last man to complete a lap on track, put himself? That Mercedes-powered engine trying to beat out the Mercedes, and can he? No, he cannot. No, he cannot. The time he found was lost and then some in the final sector. Your championship leader, Capex, is on pole here in Bahrain. Both Mercedes in the top 3, crucial in their constructors' fight against the Ferraris that find themselves all the way down in 9th and 14th. Could this be the moment the Mercedes reinsert themselves in the constructors' fight? See there, compilation of Mark's second place. He will start on the front row. See just how close everything was. The top 10 separated by less than a second. Might have a few guys out of position. The likes of Edge down in 8th. The likes of Dylan down in 10th. He was going to certainly expect better of himself. Fernie as well down in 14th. That 5-place grid penalty for Max is going to see the Haas start at the back. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong for a Haas at the moment. Anything to prevent them from scoring any points seems to be the motto. As things stand, it is not going very well for the American outfit. Find themselves starting well down the field. Way much. Solve problem there. Well, the big storyline in this one so far, Edge's 3rd win in a row, potentially at risk. He finds himself down in 8th. We are just about underway here as the lights trickle through. And it's lights out and away we go. Capex gets a great start, and Zonon's already through, and Alpine's in the wall. And Alpine has found itself deposited in the wall. Rob de Goat's already made up spots. There's chaos at the back. There's a McLaren facing the wrong direction. That's Dylan, who's finding himself sinking down the field. Racing Bull has found himself facing the wrong way. The 2 Ferraris astern for 8th and 9th. Heading into turn 4, they're going 3 wide, and Edge has found ways to make up spots there as they race down the hill through the S section. Some still wheel to wheel as everybody starts to sort themselves out. You can see there, it's absolute chaos at the front. And Zonon's had a moment with Rob, and he's almost had a moment with Mark as he's had a nightmare down the hill as the 2 potentially come together. The Williams and the Mercedes trying to defend the position, and he does just that. Oh, and they show themselves into the wall. They show themselves into the wall. Zonon is going to have to own that one. That was certainly some poor driving from the Mercedes, and the VSC has been deployed after a chaotic start. Mark, after starting in 2nd, is going to be waving his hand at Zonod saying, what more do I have to do to get this guy off of me? It's the full safety car. His NASCAR freak has found himself out of this race, and it's got to be said, I think Zonod's really going to have a hard time defending his position on that one. It was a rough corner in the hairpin. It was getting surrounded on all sides. Edge actually found his way to not interfere with that battle, and because of that, finds himself in second place. Lots of drivers into the pit lane. Rob, who I believe took damages, heading in to get off the soft compound tire. Maybe not a bad thing that he's moving this early to do away with that tire. He's done his mandatory stop, saying that he can do 27 laps on the hard tire, but certainly a better race tire is that white-walled hard compound. Zonod into the pit lane, likely a little bit of front wing damage to that Mercedes, and after a first and third start, they find their teammate sitting in 13th place and potentially in a spot of bother in the steward's office later. Everyone else pretty much on either the mediums or the hards. Rudy and Dex, the only two still on the soft tire. There was a few more that had started on the softs. We weren't even able to actually see who all was on the soft tire early on until all the chaos really sorted itself out. A really intriguing one. Capex and Edge out at the front. Edge starting down in 8th has already made up so many positions with the chaos that took place in front of him. And the man who is on an absolute charge at the moment, the man in form on the grid. Nobody seems to have an answer to this McLaren at the moment. Already found himself right behind championship leader Capex, who he's applying the pressure to right on the back end of this championship. I believe Mark will likely have a few words in the steward's office as well. He finds himself down in 18th, but if there's anybody on this grid who's going to have the faith in himself to find his way up the field, it's going to be a tough race from here, but he's going to need to make the right strategy calls. He's done well to get off that hard tire, maybe repair some of the damage. And he knows after just losing out on pole position that he has the pace. Get his way back up the field. Wait for Dylan, who's already got a time penalty. We'll go ahead and see what that's for. It might have been track limits, but it's chaotic at the start. We saw him facing the wrong direction at one point. You almost have to wonder if he's going to get that one removed at one point. Haas as well. We mentioned him beforehand that the Haas needed some points today, and boy, are they on their way for some points right now. Still very early in this race. But 3rd and 6th position, Max, after that 5-place grid penalty starting all the way at the back, has made his way all the way to 6th place. Nicely done there. Alpine as well with Miggy joined us late. Not maybe the best qualifying by his standards. He would like to see himself further up the field, but 8th place will do for now. And potentially the tire strategy on his side, you would imagine that maybe that hard tire is playing the long game a little bit. That medium is certainly what is going to be the fastest at the moment, but here in just a few short laps time, you would have to imagine that the medium will start to tail off. It is Capex's grid to lead now. The safety car on its way, and that Aston Martin racing ahead. Capex will be able to give everybody the green light, slowing everyone down, keeping his tires warm, whereas the ones behind him cannot. They need to wait for him. Safety car looks like it has found its way in the pit lane, and Capex is up and underway. It looks like Edge has read him pretty well. You see the two weaving down the straight. Capex trying not to give the McLaren the slipstream. And Edge is going to have it go at him around the outside. Can the McLaren make the move? They're still battling through the corner. Edge has the inside line. Edge has the lead of this race. And currently, Edge has the lead in the championship. Into first goes the McLaren, but can Capex come back out on the Mercedes down the inside? And he's going to try to make the move stick. Edge working to keep it on the outside. Can he do just that? These two fighting tooth and nail. Nice battling between the two at the front there. They have left 7 in the Ferrari in the dust. It is these two for the win at the moment with 25 laps to go. Still a long way to go, but these two showing the pace, showing the class, showing the racecraft in order to compete with each other at the top. No DRS on this first lap after the restart. Everybody's kept it mostly clean to start, but we'll keep our eye on the battle here at the front. Will Edge make a move? Not this time. That McLaren will stay home, stay tucked underneath the wing of that Mercedes in front of him. We have to keep our eyes here at the front. These two are going to be fighting tooth and nail for the rest of this race. I can smell it, I can feel it, and Capex knows that he's darting to the inside, knows that he can't give the slipstream to his championship rival. They head into this final corner of the lap, and this is where Edge's best opportunity may come. Capex, you see, heading to the inside. Slipstream not available at the moment for the McLaren, but will it matter? You see the red light flashing. Will Edge make a move down the inside? He's gonna stick behind him right now. Playing the DRS game is the McLaren. And you get the power down nicely done out of the corner. He's got the run, he's got the traction, he's got DRS, and he's got all the speed that he might need, but can he make the move? He's still too far back. The McLaren hanging on as they head and swoop down through turn 4. Trap reflect, the salvo has gone off at turn 1, and he's called it an afternoon. Not entirely sure what happened there. We've been so focused on this battle at the front, it's been way too good to ignore at the moment. We'll go ahead and take a look at Zonon, who's trying to make his way back up the field. His teammate battles for the lead. He's battling for Mercedes at the moment to keep that that Constructors' Championship rather alive, as Edge looks like he is just dropping back a little bit, but he's bringing others into the race as well. They had brought a gap of 1.5 seconds over the Ferrari at one point, and Seven's done well just to hang with them. Their battling has included the Ferrari, but not just the Ferrari, but the Haas and the Aston and the other Haas and the other Aston as well. The top 7 all within DRS range of each other, and a nice little 2.7 second break to the Alpine of Miggy. Capex there with the fastest lap at 7 with the fastest lap. His Edge, with the help of DRS down the main straight, is going to take the lead of the race as his teammate is going to call it a day. Panda's also gotten a move done alongside the Haas, past the Haas. The Haas is losing a couple spots in the span of a corner. And 7 now starting to lose touch with these two out front, but only momentarily. Back within a second is the Ferrari as they swoop down the hill once more here on laps number 6 of 29 here tonight. Is starting to see the gaps beginning to form in the field. Now 3.2 seconds to Ruby between himself and Miggy. Max is 1.2 seconds adrift of this battle out here in front. And Mark has gotten past his teammate, and you wonder if that's maybe a tactical thing between the Williams, knowing that Mark has the pace over Aaron. Just making sure that the faster driver is in front. Mark's race obviously not in great shape after that lap 1 incident. I'm sure he'll be working his way up the field. We'll be checking in on his progress as the night goes along. Capex now still within DRS range. This train now spanning just back to 5th place. Max has dropped off by a little bit of a margin there, about 2 seconds we'll call it. And Capex now, it's his turn to open up the rear wing, but it's Edge's turn to set the fastest lap of the race. The 131.8 is the time to beat in this one so far, as Mo begins to lose touch with our top 4. Can he regain it once more with the double dose of DRSs? Bernie and Zona look like They're having a little bit of a battle at the back, running deep, and Helix, is Helix able to keep it together? It doesn't look like he was. Zonod maybe is going to say he ran me out of room, and now Mark and Zonod again. Look who's back, and look who's now finally past the Mercedes that he was in an incident with earlier, and Mark, his charge back up the field continues as Zonod's has been slightly delayed, potentially with that incident with the Racing Bull. Keep an eye on any other close battles. This is the best battle at the front right here is Helix and Zonod. They're going to go potentially wheel to wheel. The same spot that he had the incident earlier. He's going to try to go around the outside. Can he set up the switchback? Yes, he can. The Mercedes getting the power down. Those hard tires starting to come to life here. And the DRS, will he make the move? Not this time around. Back up at the front. We've got to keep our eyes everywhere on track at the moment. Battles and trains all over. Capex, could he potentially be close enough for a move for the lead of this race? As everyone else is going to just bide their time behind them, sit in the DRS, let these two battle it out and say, please, carry me along. This gap has extended to 3.6 down to Max in 6th place as it looks to go down the inside, and Edge defending that position well against the Mercedes that has DRS, but I don't think he's going to be able to defend this one. Might be done before the corner. Capex retakes the lead of this race. Will Edge come back at him? Looks like he might. The McLaren, they're going to go wheel to wheel down the S's once more, and Edge, what a move. Puts his McLaren back into first place. And will Capex send it down the inside? Yes, he will. They're going to go wheel to wheel out of the hand of Edge. Still with the traction, still with the lead, and still with that hold on the championship. A little squabbly out of that corner is Capex, but you see everybody is getting closer and closer as these two fight on out at the front. And it's only lap 8. If we've got another 21 laps of this, I'm going to be out of my voice, and it's going to be a phenomenal race. Don't mind expensing my voice for good racing. Fernie has a little bit of company for 8th place while they all duel at the front. We'll check on them as they head down the main straight once more. Miggy and Rob, who was also involved in a lap 1 incident, was Rob, finding themselves in a battle with the Ferrari. We see the big DRS train here. Panda is looking to make a move on the Ferrari. He has the outside of the Ferrari. He's going to still try to go around the outside, which then becomes the inside. The Aston Martin up into 3rd place, into the podium positions. Nicely done there. Always so difficult to make moves at a DRS train, but that was perfectly set up by the Aston Martin, and he can carry on watching the show up front as Ruby, those soft tires might be starting to struggle here against Max with the medium. They head down the hill. These two still going to fight it out, and I think Ruby just maybe didn't quite realize that Max was still holding that corner. Rob and Fernie are going to go and have a nice little battle here as they've got the other Aston Martin in their sights as Fernie, as they go down the hill. Is he going to send it down the inside? Yes, he will. Oh, that's a risky move. They bang wheels ever so slightly, but the Ferrari has got the move done. He's got the rear wing open. He should have this place. Will Rob come back at him down the inside? Yes, he will. The Sauber going to fight his way on the inside, back up the hill, as they're going to continue this battle up the hill, turn after turn. These two are going to duel this one out down the back straight as well, as the Ferrari for now hangs on to 8th place, but boy does he have a growing company behind him. The Alpine of Miggy getting interested as well. He'll go around the outside of the Sauber. They'll go wheel to wheel as they head down the main straight. The Williams of Mark is interested in this one as well. These three all right next to each other. Could we see 3 wide? The Sauber trying to keep the Williams at bay. Can he do that? They're going to 3 wide, and 3 into 1 doesn't go. We've had calamity, as I think Mark maybe slightly overambitious there. That'll be definitely one for the stewards to watch. who was at fault there, checking all the onboards to see what on earth just happened there. We've got another change at the top. Capex has potentially had a moment. He finds himself now out of DRS range of edge. Could that give the McLaren the edge in this race that he needs to get away from this trailing pack? And it looks like that might just be the case, as we'll keep an eye on their progress up at the front. These battles are flying at us very, very quickly, as the Haas and the Ferrari will fight this one up the hill. The Haas around the outside, Mo making the move. And 7 has probably had as much of a roller coaster race in the first 10 laps of one that you could potentially have. He's been passed, repassed, overtaken, and now he's going to get collected. As 7 just sticking his nose in a place where I don't think it needed to be. Panda will assume second place as Capex, after losing touch with edge. And this next tire choice will tell us a lot about the strategy for Mercedes. Can they put their championship leader back in first place? The hard tire goes on. He can go to the end on that white-walled tire. He's going to find himself with a lot of overtaking to do. This DRS train right here, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute cluster, is probably the best way to put it. We've got Fernie in 6th, and we've got everybody down to just about 13th. You have 7 cars all within a second of each other, as Fernie's going to take a little bit of liberty with the track limits there. Cutting that corner nicely. Miggy is going to try to apply some pressure on the Ferrari, almost pushing him around the hairpin. The Alpine just buys his time a little bit more. Zonod's starting to drop back a little bit as well. Panda is starting to make some inroads on edge as well. That gap was a few seconds at one point. Is now stabilized as the Red Bull of Toasty has spun. I don't know if he's had an incident with anybody, but that's going to give Capex an easy pass on those fresh hard tires. This is going to maybe give Capex a little bit of time. This is not his race, Mr. Toasty. He is fighting for the win, trying to make his way through the field, as Rob and Mark look like they have maybe a little bit of coming together. Edge and Panda are in, and it will be Mo, the Haas, the team that has yet to score a point this season, will assume the lead of this race. Edge, fresh hard tires for him, fresh hard tires for Panda, who quite nail the entry. There's Zona. Nice work. Help of DRS getting up into 3rd place for the time being. As this group still yet to pit, and Edge has come out pretty much right in the middle of them. He's going to have to clear all of these cars pretty quickly. He's got the likes of Capex, who also has about 2.5 seconds behind him. As see here, the championship leader just coming through the S's now, as after this round of pit stops, the gaps are starting to spread out a little bit more. This is our closest battle on track at the moment. This is our 3rd place on track that Zonod currently holds. This group yet to pit. See Robin the Saubert got a penalty already. However, he'll be looking to keep touch with the Ferrari, who's flashing at the moment. You do wonder if Fernie's running a little bit of battery to try to stay with Zonot. Looks like might be the case. That Ferrari might just be slightly out of juice, but Edge is right behind all of them, trying to clear this bunch as fast as possible. We've got another collection of cars right behind them as Capex needs to find a way through. Mark, and it's Panda as well, who's still ahead of Capex after Capex tried to go for the undercut. It hasn't quite paid off, and Panda still has the lead over Capex. He's going to move himself with his provisional 2nd place, as Capex is still stuck behind the Williams. Can Edge make any inroads on this battle in front of him? Oh, he's in a very interesting spot. The Ferrari almost moving out of the way for the McLaren. The McLaren just going wheel to wheel with the Ferrari around the outside with the fresh tire. Powers around him through the S's. There you go. And Edge with a little bit of an elbows out maneuver gets himself back into 4th place, and we'll have DRS on his rival's teammate as Capex finally finding his way past Mark. The undercut has not paid off here tonight for Capex on this stop. He has gotten stuck in traffic. He finds himself a second, 1.2 seconds now adrift of the Aston in front of him, who's got the courtesy of DRS. Oh my good lord, what on earth just happened? Well, I won't give any of my opinions, but that was that will be a hotly debated topic, I think, come the end of this race. I can assure you that, because that was a interesting maneuver at best from the Sauber, but we'll leave it there. Zonod now in 4th place, has DRS on Edge. Can he potentially help his teammate out a little bit and somehow, some way holding up the McLaren, getting past him, as Panda has now gotten into 3rd, as the rest of the field now pits Mo and Miggy into the pit lane. Miggy now with the soft tire coming out, going for the 2-stop, potentially looking to throw the mediums on at the end of the race. Well, not just keeping touch with Edge, who has reassumed his lead at the top of this contest. Bernie and Mark. Does Mark have any damage from that incident? Doesn't appear that he does. He will definitely need to pit again. He was one of the early pitters on a lap 1 incident, if you remember. He's going to be a little bit out of sequence. If he's got another set of hard tires, he's probably going to be looking to use them here rather soon. Panda has caught up to the Mercedes, who's been dropped by Edge. The Aston Martin with the rear wing open can't quite make the move this time around. He'll go ahead and stick behind the Mercedes once more. We've got a battle for 9th taking place. Toasty and Max, with Max on the fresh hard tire. Easy as you like. As the move done before the corner, the Haas up into 9th place, and what is shaping up to be a very good night for Haas. And Mo trying to make it even better, looking to get the unassisted overtake done on the Ferrari. He's going to stick behind. Very, very smartly done to get the DRS from the Ferrari for not just 1 straight, but for 2 straight. Oh, that was a risky maneuver. There's the Ferrari trying to get into the pit lane and to find his way across the Haas. And 7, whose championship hopes have taken a knock the last race or 2. And this one not looking like it's going to go his way either. He's found himself down in 7th. On that fresh medium tire, you might expect it to be doing a little bit better than that hard tire, but he's finding a difficult time getting past the Haas on the hard. Keep an eye on that. Toasty's into the pit lane. The Red Bull making the swap to the soft tire. So neglecting the soft tire here tonight for their middle stint is Dex and the Red Bull looking to do battle with the sister team of the Racing Bulls. He's got the DRS open, looked to make a move. Wasn't quite there and stuck behind. He gets a little bit of a snap heading out of turn 4. Holds it together. Very nicely done. Mark is the center of attention once again, this time for 5th place. He's got 2 suitors for it, both Mo and 7, on fresh tires, looking to make inroads into his progress, he's really been in the wars, hasn't he, tonight, Mark? It's not been probably his greatest race. Started with a high, started in 2nd place after a great qualifying, was just beaten out by Capex, and is now about to be overtaken for 6th place. He'll potentially fall to 6th place as 7 DRS wide open. The Haas with DRS will also look to go down his inside. They might make a little bit of contact. Nicely done there to keep at least one of the cars behind. He now gets the DRS and can try to get back after the Ferrari. And those fresh, hard tires for Mo, not quite enough to get him past the aged hard tires of Mark, but he's going to try to make the moves through the S's. Not quite there. The Haas will have to fight another day, as Mark is now struggling to keep up with 7. He's had a great exit, but not quite to that corner as Mo had a little bit of a moment as well. Some oversteer on the exit. Let's see here, Mo trying to get past. It's been one of those nights for the Haas. It's been up, it's been down, it's been left and right. They've also been in a few tussles tonight as Dex goes ahead and gets past Young in the Racing Bull. Toasty picking up 3-second penalty. Go through the penalties here shortly, just to remind you of where everybody stands preliminarily. As Mo here, no DRS yet until the main straight. He'll go ahead and make the pass, and Mark maybe saying, you know what, I'll go ahead and take the DRS, but did he do it before the detection point? That's going to be the real question here, and it looked like he did. So Mark maybe playing the smart game here, just stealing the DRX to come back at Mo, and he's not going to do it here. He's going to potentially do it down the next set of straights. Zonod finally into the pit lane. He's had a nice big stint on that on the hard tire. After pitting the first time, being involved in another lap 1 incident, he finds himself re-entering the track down in 10th. And this is the best battle that we have for you at the moment. Max and Miggy, those soft tires, now with 3 laps to go, as Toasty is going to call it a race, and Arrow Knight is going to laps with the time penalty. Young has also called it a race as well in the pit lane. 14 drivers left on track. Those soft tires just working still for the Alpine. Teammate Elliott quits first tonight. NASCAR Freak had enough after lap 1. The lone Alpine now battling here for 7th place, trying to hold on. Definitely will need to pit again. These soft tires probably only have another 2 or 3 good laps in them before they need to be replaced. Go ahead and keep an eye on that interval at the front. Should Panda start McLaren's time at the top, go ahead and keep an eye on that. It's about 2 seconds now, but for right now, this is the best battle we have for you. Max with the DRS just needs to be patient here. Let those tires in front of him fall away. You see those flashing lights. The battery's being drained. The Haas looking to go around the outside of the Alpine. Not quite there. Can he get the switchback? Doesn't look like it's going to be likely. He'll get the run out of the second DRS strike. A double dose of DRS for the Haas. The rear wing open. Can Max get it done? A little bit of lockup. Tries to go around the outside. Those soft tires just hanging on enough for Miggy to keep him in 7th for the time being. Final 11 laps of trying to find a way get into the DRS. He'll say to himself, if I can get in the DRS, I've got a chance. Very, very interesting now, as if we found a way to get a safety car. A safety car now would certainly cause some issues for those on the hard tire. You would expect them to go again. Arrow Knight has headed into the pit lane. It has been a rather unsuccessful night for the other Williams, who hasn't had, unfortunately, too much to talk about. Mark has headed into the pit lane. 17 laps on the hard tire. You see the grading on that right front. They're about to rip open. He's done all he can tonight. As the Haas and the Alpine back at it once more. Max, can he finally get past the French outfit? It doesn't seem like he's going to be able to this time. That Haas just doesn't seem to have the straight line speed to get forward. We'll go ahead and just take our eyes to the front. 1.2 seconds is now the gap as we start to begin the latter stage of this contest. As Dex has also said, that's enough for me. I don't really have too much of a shot of points. He was about 30 seconds back, I think, at one point of the final points position Mark currently holds at the moment. Panda is about to pull within DRS of the McLaren. We have a very, very interesting finish on our hands. Edge going for the hat trick of victories here. 3 in a row. He is looking to make it. Gonna potentially have to do it the hard way. With an Aston Martin breathing down his neck. We'll go ahead and come back to this battle right here. Miggy and Max have been at it for probably the better part of the last 4 or 5 laps, and it has remained just as you see it. Miggy in 6th, Max in 7th. Those soft tires are somehow, some way being managed by Miggy just to keep the Haas at bay. You can't imagine he's going to stick this out much longer. And if Max had any desires to break into the top 5, Miggy has put those absolutely to bed. The defense from the Alpine has been absolutely incredible these last few laps. He's put the car in the right place. He's defended in all the right spots. And he is hanging on for dear life in 6th place. Maybe just trying to hang on for that safety car to get into the pit lane and get what has to be the extremely worn and struggling soft tires off of this car. It doesn't look like that's going to take place now. We'll go ahead and direct our eyes at the front. We now have nice battle for the lead as Edge and Panda half a second splitting these two in the final 9 laps of this one. DRS now for the Aston Martin. You wonder what the batteries are like for the two. They're both flashing, saying that could use a little bit of juice in those battery units. As Mo in 7 now is, I believe, 7 into the pit lane. Hard tire going on for the Ferrari. He's going to be held there for... No, he's not. He's just going to be warped into the pit lane. Miggy and Max once more. Can he get the job done? No, he cannot. Back to the front we go. And these two here in the spectacle of the night. Panda, well, it's been an interesting season, I think, for Martin so far. The highs of Zandvoort, the lows of last week at Monaco. This is looking like it could potentially be a high for the team, as they are chasing down the man who's won the last 2 contests for the win. With 8 laps to go, he's got plenty of time to do it, but he will definitely want to get a move on with McLaren in his sights, both on the same tire, both on the same tire life, as it's going to be an absolute battle to the finish. You can see there in the background Capex, who is going to see his championship lead likely disappear after tonight, but that's definitely not to say that he can't come storming back later, as Panda not getting the benefit of the slipstream. Edge pulling all the way to the inside to deny that from the Aston. They head through these corners here. The traction so important. Panda now chasing down McLaren. Not quite close enough for a move. Here the tires, those front tires will scream through that corner, trying to find some grip, and Miggy is into the pit lane. Finally, off of the soft compound tire, onto the medium. For as much of an up and down night as he had, it's certainly one of those where found a way to make it work, to get the maximum points that he possibly can. And now half a second in trail. 7 laps to go in this one. He's got plenty of time to charge that battery. An Edge, with all the pace that he has, with all that he has displayed to us this season, will look to dispel that here over the next few laps. Is 7 now going to be catching up to Zonod after that rather late stop from the Ferrari onto the hard tire. He's going to try to push that all the way to the end of this race. We'll keep an eye on that battle as it progresses, but out front, 6/10 is now the gap as Mark gets a move done into 8th place, just past Helix in the Racing Bull. Out front once more. We are going to keep our eyes pasted on this one until we get a better battle on track. We'll keep an eye on that battle for 6th between Zonod and 7. Currently occupy 7th place. That seems to be where he is going to move 7 now into 6th place, but the Mercedes are going to battle this one out. This could be big in the constructors here later on down the line, as 7 now is going to look to tuck in right behind the Mercedes, who's got DRS. Zonod for now is going to stay in front of the Ferrari, and Zonod with that penalty is going to fight tooth and nail to just keep this Ferrari behind, not knowing the result of what that penalty could be later. You imagine the Ferrari wants to get it done on track. Panda now. Half a second behind, 6 laps to go. Not quite out of time, but biding his time rather well is the Aston, and needs to make sure he doesn't apply too much pressure to himself later on. All right, these two are going to look like they're going to do battle once more. We've got this straight before we head on to the main DRS straight. Can 7 in the Ferrari get the power down as he needs to? Is Panda closing in on edge? Not this time. Back we go to Zonod and 7. 7 will have DRS. He's got an absolute run on the Mercedes, and he has ran himself into 6th place. The Ferrari making what could be a crucial move in the constructors to take that 7th spot from their constructors rivals, and he looks like he's going to just pull away from that one. Mickey and Helix potentially having a little battle back there as we head into the final 5 laps of this one. Panda and Edge back out front. We have to keep our eyes here. Panda running a little bit wide there. Managed to keep it together nice and tight. Edge now has seemed to be able to recharge that battery of his. No longer is the McLaren flashing that red light, but unfortunately for him, neither is the Aston Martin. I wonder now, when will Panda make that move? Edge diving back to the inside once more. You wonder if that move could be coming here soon. Panda diving down there with him. DRS is open. He's going to be a little bit too far back to make a lunge into turn 1, but can he get the power down into the next DRS straight? Let's find out. He's done a great job to stick with the McLaren here. And Panda now with the rear wing open once more, still too far back into turn 4 to make any sort of inroads. As 7 from 6th place goes ahead and puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 1:31.4 for the Ferrari. Be done there at this stage of the race. Here, Miggy and Mark. It has been an eventful night for both of these drivers, and they're going to try to add potentially one more overtake to it. Alpine and the Williams. The Edge and Panda, we have to just keep an eye on them out front. It has been under half a second as Fernie is going to go ahead and just pit on the soft tire and punch in the fastest lap, taking that one away from his teammate. Just Panda there. Ooh. Had to maybe hit the brakes a little earlier than he thought he might. Compromised his exit a little bit. He's fallen a couple tenths behind the race leader. Head into lap number 26 of 29. That move from Panda, I think, is coming soon. Move from 7 on the Haas potentially coming soon as well as they head into the final corner of the lap. The Ferrari will get DRS. The Haas will go to the inside, the Ferrari to the outside, and even before the rear wing opens, 7 has made his way up into 5th place. 2 spots made up in the last 3 laps. These 2 on them, Edge and Panda. Battle that we've watched so much tonight, and both of those lights flashing once more. You have to imagine that the batteries for both of them are closely monitored, closely managed, neither wanting to concede ground, neither wanting to potentially offer the other any chance of an overtake, a defensive maneuver. Panda maybe looking to catch Edge out. Edge just trying to make his McLaren as wide as possible, as this is as close as the Aston Martin has been yet during this battle. 0.2 of a second as they come out of the final corner, but Edge once more finding the grip in that McLaren out of the final corner, diving to the inside again, denying the Aston Martin that slipstream as he heads back up the track once more as he heads into turn 1. All of this, they start to get a little bit too much tangled with themselves. Capex has managed to pull back a second on this battle. It was 4.8 seconds at one point, is now 3.8 seconds. These two need to make sure they don't get too tangled with each other, or else the Mercedes, looming in the background, currently on the bottom step of the podium, could find himself on the top step. Oh, that is crushing right there. Panda, a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and that could just completely implode the Aston's progress in this one. He's going to be head in hands saying, why did I have to go wide there? He's going to think about his other 2 times that he went wide as well. And Edge, I think, knows it. He knows that should that penalty not get removed, that he's going to have the win in this race, and Capex could potentially, if he can pull back within 3 seconds of Panda, is going to see himself moving up a step on the podium. And Panda there saying, right, well, I'll just go ahead and reset my meter. Panda is trying to find a way past the McLaren, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Diving to the inside once more as the McLaren. What was an interesting battle to the finish has now somewhat fizzled out ever so slightly. The Aston might still try to make the move as he's going to still force the issue. Penalty in hand, rear wing still open. But still cannot find. It's Edge who has managed to find what is left in these hard tires here at the end of the race. 16 laps. The most that we've seen in this competition so far is 17. As Zonod and Max maybe getting a little interesting with each other. The Haas and the Mercedes. Another move with championship implications, not just for Mercedes, but for Haas as well, looking for their first points, as it certainly looks like it's going to come tonight, but how many will they get? Time will only tell. Zonod making that Mercedes as wide as possible, and Panda and Edge once more for the lead. It still isn't coming off for the Aston Martin. Is he waiting for some last lap heroics? Time will only tell, as we are just prepping ourselves to head on to the final lap of this race. But Zonod still hanging on to 6th position from the Haas. He's got 5 more laps of life in his tires. You would expect that he can do just that. Right. Here we go. Final lap of the race. We have no idea if this penalty from Panda is going to get removed or not. No room into turn 1 to make a move happen. DRS will open again once more for the Aston Martin. And he make this move into turn 4. Still not quite close enough, but he can absolutely reach out and touch the rear wing of that McLaren. His Edge heading down the S section for the final time tonight. Keeps it nice and tidy as they head through this sector. Oh, and Capex, a crushing penalty there, potentially taking him off of the second step and confirming him on the third. Championship not looking like it is going to stay in his hands tonight. Panda can do anything to take Edge off the top spot. 4/10 now. He's got no more DRS he can use. It's battery power and the strength of that Aston Martin left for Panda, but it's Edge who's had the margin all night. It's 6/10 now. 7/10 is the lead. Now he's just showing off, and show off when you can, because it's going to be 3 wins from 3 for Edge as he drifts around the final corner, heads to the inside, swerves across the line. Edge has won here in Bahrain for the 3rd time in a row. It's a hat trick of wins for McLaren. Panda comes across the line in second. It was a valiant effort until that crushing penalty. Capex sees his championship lead falter tonight. He finishes in 3rd. Mo with some time penalties in hand. Will he hang on to that spot? No, he will not. The Ferrari, who's had such an up and down night, will finish on a high note in 4th. Zonad and Max will swap positions at the line. First points of the season for Haas, finishing astern. 5 and 6 for them. Miggy, after another rocking roller coaster night, finishes in 8th. Mark will go ahead and cross the line in 9th. Helix, he's been in the wars. He's been in amongst things. It's going to be some points for him tonight as well. 10th place is what he will cross the line with, is Ruby and the other Aston Martin. A good night for Aston to try and get past the McLarens and the Alpines in the Constructors, as Fernie will collect the final points here in this one. Ferrari, another double points finish for them. That will wrap up proceedings for tonight. Bahrain is done and is over with. I think it's probably to the steward's room next, because we have a lot of carnage to sort out at the end of this one. Just have to wonder what will come of all of it. But what we do know is that Edge now has the lead in the championship. The man on the top step the last 3 races is now at the top of the Drivers' Championship. McLaren making their intentions known in the Constructors' Championship as well. Mercedes are right back in the thick of things as we head into the final few races this season. If you like slow tracks, then fast tracks, well, we're going to be right back to it. It's Singapore next week, same time, same place, as you see there. Confirmation of Edge coming all the way from 8th on the grid. The carnage at the start of the race, promoting him to 2nd, and the safety car restart. He managed to get past Capex just a few laps afterwards. It's his victory for McLaren. Capex relinquishes the lead at the top. The rest of the results there for you. Plenty of DNFs tonight. It was certainly not due to any crashes, but it was more just the distance behind. The driver seeing the points drive away from them. The incidents will be fast and fierce in the steward's room. I'm sure the chat will be alive later. But until next week, we'll go ahead and call it there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll talk to you in Singapore.